And boom! I see audio. You should hear me. You should see me. I just got out of the shower. We are rocking and rolling now, I believe. Let me know if we are. Ah, what a day, what a day. Not gonna lie, kinda flying. Kinda flying. Still muted, unfortunately. God, no. Let me see. Let me know when you can hear me. Manny Sanchez says it's all good. I'm going to trust Manny Sanchez. Let me. Sound is back. Hallelujah. There we go, everybody. We're in a Scotland jersey today. I'm not going to lie. The Barcelona Grand Prix is here. But today is a lot bigger day for me. Scotland are playing Haiti. Our entire World Cup hopes ride on one single game. And I am not ready for it. That's in 13 hours time. So you guys have my concentration for the next 2 hours as I fix everything here. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Let me know in the chat what's going on. Oh my goodness. The Pierre Gasly saga. What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this game, everybody? It's unreal. I'm already like, brutal. Absolutely brutal. To Gasly or not to Gasly? That is the question as I try to fix everything here. I had to go pick up my rental car today because my wife and I are traveling, as we do. And I was like, probably won't be back by 2 o'clock. And she was like, I'm going to go work out. You can start your stream at 2 o'clock. And I was like, okay. So here we are. We are rocking and rolling. Don't forget to like the stream, everybody. That helps me out so much. Love doing these streams, but if you could just help me out, hit that thumbs up button. That would really, really, really help me out. All right. Time to get into the questions. And then we're going to get into all these sims up on the screen are from FP2. We don't have the FP3 sims yet. Hello there. Fantasy is going to be very chaotic. Yep, I agree, Mr. Best. I think Gasly is probably going to be a very popular asset today. Kimi struggling. McLaren looks half decent for your T2. Is a McLaren for Merc and Kimi for Lando too much, or go conservative swapping Behrman and Bortoleto, Hadjar, and Hulk? I'm not worried about Antonelli. He was impeded on both of his qualifying runs. And honestly, if he starts P5 tomorrow, that's great. Love some Kimi Antonelli in P5 because he's probably going to end up P2, and we're just going to bag a couple of extra points here and there. So that doesn't bother me at all. I've gone too many races this season without Kimi Antonelli. I'm going to need to see George Russell absolutely crush him for a couple of races in a row before I get off of Kimi Antonelli because the value is just, it's too good. Evo Bozic says, yo, hi, happy you started sooner, says the Ranger camera. Yes, yep. So many questions, so many decisions, says Impulfit. What's your opinion on Gasly versus Hadjar as B+ tier assets? Based on what I know right now, some person on this earth -1, I'm going Gasly. I don't love it. I wish I had higher morals, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, if I want to be competing with the big boys in this game with my squad that is 200 and something in the world, I need to just take what the game has given me. I don't like it personally. I think it's a terrible decision, but here we are. Sound is back. Morning from Canada, says Womp 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 One. We can hear you, says Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca. Let me just go through the chat here. I think McLaren is a trap. I agree on the McLaren trap, says Rebecca. Feels like a bit of a Gasly or McLaren choice, although I don't think I'm ready to trust McLaren yet. I agree, Rebecca. And just so you guys know, I'm not skipping your questions, but I will always prioritize the F1 Fantasy pole sitters compared to, well, they'll get first rack. But I think every single deadline stream I've done so far, I have answered every single question by the deadline. So don't worry, I will get to you eventually. Scouser 18926. Should I do Colapinto to Lawson, Bottas to Hulkenberg, and Ocon to Hadjar? That is simply lovely. Yes. Can you do Ocon to Gasly? Or are you like me where you can't get up to that extra 0.1 million? I can hear you in Boston for Scotland. Oh, I'm so jealous. I did think about going, but it was just redonkulous. The prices were redonkulous. So I've taken my hard-earned sports karma and I've put it into going to the Austrian Grand Prix in 2 weeks. I just booked those tickets yesterday. So the plan for that is deadline stream, drive to Salzburg, wake up, drive to the race, come back to the race, stay the night in Salzburg, go to work the next day. You do it for deadline stream for y'all, race for me. How about that? I'll probably have to make a TikTok about that just to show how crazy it was. How is McLaren looking? I have them from Canada. So honestly, guys, I am flying a tiny bit blind this week. I was on the plane last night, so I missed FP2 because we were in the airport. I caught up a little bit before I passed out last night, and then FP3, just been doing stuff all morning, enjoying our first morning in Pristina, Kosovo. Lawson or Gasly? I think with Gasly, you just have to go with this easy price rise thing. Do we think Gasly will 100% have a free 0.8 rise? I don't know. I wish I knew, Urasoto. I really, really wish I knew. It seems like that's the way the game is leaning, but I don't know if that is. It's not guaranteed. That's why this decision is so horrible. You should have just done nothing, because then we can decide. McLaren or Ferrari? Still Ferrari for me, based on bang for your buck. If we go to, if I can get anywhere, here we go. If we go to the budget, if we go to the team calculator and we go to the sims, and just so everybody knows, I'm using the sim post FP2 Gasly plus 0.8 million because I go for upside. Ferrari 25.1 million, 52 points. McLaren 29.5 million. $4.5 extra million for 10 extra points doesn't strike me as the best bang for your buck. So I'm happy sticking with Ferrari. I was reading Coffee Corner Motorsport Terry's breakdown yesterday of FP1 and FP2, and he said that Leclerc's long run pace was plenty okay. So I'm not too worried about it. Worth a -10 to get Albon out for Lawson? Yes, ABK. Antonelli, Gasly, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Ferrari? Antonelli, Gasly, Colapinto, Hulkenberg. Yeah, I'm probably going to be running that on my T1 team, Gurov. Should I do Mercedes plus McLaren with Bottas or Mercedes plus Ferrari with double Audi and double RB? I prefer the second option, Gambits. What's the rationale of going Bortoleto to Lawson for a -10? Just because otherwise on my team it would be 2x Audi. I mean, Audi don't look bad, Rebecca, so it's a great shout. Where'd they end up? 9 and 11, of course. Audi just right there on the cusp. Racing Blues look okay. Liam Lawson had an interrupted FP2 session. Lindblad was 7th in FP2, I believe, so I think there is some pace in that Racing Bulls. Alpine look a little bit slow, but they have pulled it back a little bit today on Saturday, so hopefully they found something. Haas, I'm just jumping off of Haas right now. I haven't seen anything from them. And Barcelona is really a good track to show us the actual pecking order of the teams. And I think Haas might be very disappointed to find themselves above only Aston Martin and Cadillac by the end of the weekend. I think Williams have jumped them. I think Racing Bulls have jumped them. Alpine is far ahead. I think Audi is about to jump them if they haven't already jumped them. Hadjar gives me a little bit of concern, but look at this absolute pain here, guys, on my T2 squad. This is the squad that's in the top 200, or almost in the top 200, top 250, I guess I should say. Behrman out, Bortoleto out. Oh, goodness. Come on, website. What are we doing here? Hulkenberg in 11.5 million. Guess how much Pierre Gasly costs? 11.6! Oh, brutal. Brutal. So those 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 rises really help. However, if Pierre Gasly had rightfully gone up 0.6 million or whatever we're doing with this game right now, he'd be way out of reach. So the other move is that I could run double Audi with Bortoleto here, and then I could just do and then get Colapinto out for Gasly here. That leaves me 3.7 million in the bank, which if McLaren looks incredible or anyone looks incredible, I could final fix Kimi to anyone that I really need to. Shout out to Porsche F1 who was touting that yesterday. All right, let's get into some more questions here. In a wild situation, is it better for Antonelli to start P5 or last? I mean, I guess last. He'd probably make up like at least 14, 15 spots with some overtakes in there, it'd be crazy. Why McLaren a trap reliability? Yeah, I just don't, like, I don't trust them. What are we, 6, 7 races into the season? How many have they both finished? Miami and Japan? Was that it? How is Lindblad looking? He looks all right. He looks all right. I still would prefer him as a whole, or wait until Austria. Sorry. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. I don't have my regular I'm using my DJI TikTok microphone, so I don't really know how to mute that very quickly. Sorry about that. Ferrari plus Gasly or McLaren? Ferrari plus Gasly for me. Are you getting in Gasly? I am. Gasly and Lawson are roller transferred only by Lawson. Gasly and Lawson. McLaren and Mike, one of the F1 Fantasy pole sitters, Mike, last night made a great point on my tweet, or this morning. I don't know. Time is just blending all together. That this is why you save 3 free transfers for weekends like this. And it's a great point. Plebs, wait your turn. You're not plebs. It's just, I gotta give the people what they pay for. Top 200 ATM, I think I'll go aggressive and bring in McLaren. Could backfire, says user 445. Yes, been there, been in that boat, but I hope it works out for you. Russell, Gasly, Lawson, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. That is a hefty budget you've got there, friend. I guess if you want to be aggressive with Russell, then sure. Likely budget increase for Gasly Monaco owners versus Barcelona owners. This is why the game has put itself in quite a pickle. There's no way they have enough resources or good enough code, I guess. I don't really know the technical jargon for it, to go back and check all the teams that had Gasly in Monaco and then all the teams that have Gasly from last week. I just don't think that's going to happen very successfully. So that's why, while I don't like this strategy, but if we're looking at 1.4 million in budget over the next 2 races, that's incredible. You just don't look a gift horse in the mouth, which I now know the real meaning of, thanks to y'all on one of the Q&A streams earlier this season. Is Lindblad still a good pick after Gasly put? Yeah, he was one of the drivers that was not affected too much. I think he went from 19 to 16 points or something like that. Feels like I'm taking a negative 10 this week to get Lawson, Gasly, and Hulk. I think so, Doug. I think you're right. I mean, you can ask that 5.1 for $1 to come at the World Cup. Nice. Yeah, if everyone wants to put in $1 in super chats, then I will be in America for Scotland's round of 32 game against whoever they are going to play. How about that? Does anyone want to start that off? And I'll just live stream the entire time. What's happening with Gasly? So essentially, the game has decided that they're not going to deal with what happened in Monaco until after Barcelona, which is by far the exact worst option. They had 3 options. They could have told us to go kick rocks and that the result on Sunday was the result. They could have changed it with what happened with Gasly to get that all done, which I don't prefer that, because they did mention that in their email that it was kind of close to the deadline. Maybe teams are locking in their squads already. So that is a little unfair to me. And then the third option, which is the one they picked, which is the worst option, is that you wait until after Barcelona. I still don't understand. I still don't know the rationale behind it. I saw the email and I was like, wow, they're actually responding to it. And then I read the email and I was like, no. Shout out to the Ranger camera for 19 CHCZKs. Okay, we're cooking now. Thank you. This is a great community. Love that. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Let me just check for any members. Manny Sanchez, what's up? Have Kimi, Nico, Gabby, Ocon, Colapinto, Mercedes, McLaren, 2 transfers. Is it worth the negative 10 to swap Gabby, Ocon, McLaren to Lawson, Gasly, Ferrari? Man, that is tough. That is tough. Yes. For budget purposes, yes. Maybe not for points purposes. Christian runs $1.99 for the World Cup. Thank you, friend. That is amazing. Okay, I mean we're cooking a little bit here. Okay, I mean, yeah. When is the round of 32? We'll have to go check that out. All right, back to the question. Should I do Mercedes plus McLaren with Bottas or Mercedes plus Ferrari with double Audi and double RB? I think I answered that already, Gambit. Sorry if you missed it, but I'm going with option 2 there. -10 to get Gasly in? Yes. Gasly plus Lindblad versus Colapinto plus Lawson? Colapinto plus... Audi don't look amazingly quick. So that is not ideal, but what does Colapinto need? 1 point for a price for a 0.2 rise, so then plus Lawson, and then Lawson's with the, Lawson's going to get price rise outside of a DNF. Colapinto, so that would be 0.8. Lindblad could fall, so even if Gasly does go up 0.8, you could be looking at a budget plus, and then you just might have to figure out in Austria to try and get Gasly in. I don't hate it. Yeah, it's not bad. Do you think it's worth upgrading Ferrari to McLaren, says Eric. I do not, Eric. I do not believe that is worth it. I'm going to rely on y'all to spam the poop out of the chat whenever FP3 sims come along. So it should be in about 45 minutes. Sanark says, Antonelli, Gasly, Hadjar, Colapinto, Lawson, Mercedes plus Racing Bulls plus 1.6 million. Had a rough start of the season, activated well. I tried to build some budget for later races. Any suggestions? That is actually a team I was looking at in my team selection earlier, and I'm thinking about it for my T3 squad here, Sanzar. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right there. So right now I've got Antonelli, Bottas, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Albon, McLaren, Ferrari here. If I just get rid of all this nonsense, I can pretty much do Antonelli, Mercedes, with Racing Bulls that I like, because Racing Bulls are on for a 0.6 rise. And I can just have my pick of the litter over here. I'm saying litter because I'm a cat guy. Although that doesn't mean that I'm not a dog guy. Just a heads up on that. I can go Gasly, I can go Hadjar, I can go Colapinto, and I can go Lawson. Just like your team here. That is simply lovely. Then next week we do a little Colapinto down to Lindblad for another easy rise. We get Gasly, we get Hadjar, we get Lawson, all feeling good. I might just go down this route because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transfers with 2, so that's a -30. I like it. Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, it's 5 transfers. So that feels like a good use of the wild card to me, personally. We can even go check it out on Team Calculator together. Friend, let's go here. If I play the wild card, what does it want me to do? It says I should go Antonelli, Lawson, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lindblad. But if I enter the filter, let's see, expected points. Let's go 180 and then see what it wants us to do with the expected price delta. Mercedes, Audi, Antonelli, Piastri. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm going Mercedes and V-Carb. Still says I should go with this route. That doesn't really... What about... Oh, do I have the wrong... I have the wrong... Yeah, I wish I could... that would be nice. Maybe I'll suggest that. If I could just, like, pin one of those things here. Russell, Antonelli, Bortoleto. Just feels like a lot of mess coming up later along the lines. But Antonelli and no Piastri. Okay, it doesn't really like my wildcard suggestion, but I feel like that's an okay route. I can go McLaren plus Lindblad or Ferrari plus Ocon. What do you think? In that case, I would maybe go McLaren. Albon, Kim, gone. Okay. For some reason, it is Albon, Kimi, Colapinto, Lawson, Bortoleto, Albon. Get Albon out of there, Shesmil. Captain Dolphin says, current roster, Kimi 2X, Colapinto, Lawson, Bortoleto, Bottas, Ferrari, and Mercedes. 1.1 million left over. Get rid of Bottas for Hulk or any other ideas? Bottas for Hulk is great. I like Colapinto. I like Lawson. Bortoleto is fine. Kimi's great. Ferrari, Mercedes. Yep, all looks good to me, Captain Dolphin. Go for it. Who else have we got? Bro had to say that thing. I didn't. Did I say that? Oh, no. I really did not try to. We got a new member in the chat, Andres Gallego. I believe you were here earlier in the year, Andres, so welcome back to F1 Fantasy Pole Position. Glad to have you here. That is awesome. Thank you for coming. Thanks from LA. You are very welcome. Christian just hit me up with that $1 night. I love that. Thank you, everybody. I do not deserve that. My team that I'm thinking of doing: Russell, Gasly, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Mercedes, and Racing Bulls with wildcard. Any tips? No, I think that's fine. I think we were just talking about that. Should I get a negative 10 to get Gasly and says Brett? Yes. Should I do Mercedes plus McLaren with Bottas or McLaren? Yes, we're doing the double Audi move there. Also, is now a good time for any chips? Haven't used any yet. Probably not this weekend, Captain Dolphin. But unless you need a wild card, that's maybe the only one I'd use this weekend. You should have joined Rain in Barcelona. Rain was just saying there's no beer at the track in Barcelona. I hope that's not the case in Austria, although I am driving a lot. So, VO is in the chat, one of the newest members of the F1 Fantasy Pole Position Pole Sitters Club. Glad to have you here, VO. I went live a little bit earlier today because I was able to. Mr. Best says, hello, you, and hey, what's up, Mr. Best? Do you think Gasly is an essential? Why? I do, but only because it's an unknown, and I think it's an opportunity to exploit the game, which I hate. But I feel like I'm probably not doing my job if I'm not exploiting the stupidity of the devs. I'm falling behind. Wildcard team currently have... you could go with the Antonelli, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari combo. Are you going to do F1 predict? I already did it on the Q&A stream, Ranger Camera, but we'll try and get in there. Guys, so Gasly will be like 13 million in Australia. Yes, but he should have a pretty big jumping off point with Monaco still. I'm on Antonelli plus Lawson, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Colapinto on all three teams. 0.2 off-ish off Hadjar. Any good, slightly cheaper alternatives to try jump on the Gasly 0.8 train? Lindblad. Lindblad is okay. Is Lindblad still a good pick after Gasly put it? Yeah, he's all right. Antonelli, Colapinto, Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. This team looks strong. I'm 0.2 short of Hadjar instead of Colapinto. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yes, I can do Ocon to Gasly, but should I? I can just save Colapinto. But Colapinto, you might want to bring him out next week, Scouser. So I don't think it's bad. It could be okay to get off him this week. Looking forward to better fortune, McLaren, Mercedes with Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, and double Audi. I like it. Fingers crossed. I've already answered that question, Gambit. I have Antonelli, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Ferrari. I can't get to Gasly, Hulkenberg, but I do have Lawson, Hulkenberg. Is that my next best option? Yes, that is your next best option. Demiri, hey, you and I have two questions. Are we going for Hadjar or Gasly for the 2A light build? Is it worth taking a negative 10 to switch Perez to Bortoleto / Lindblad? Probably not for points, but possibly for budget. I'm not entirely sure where we're at with Perez and budget. He hasn't really been on my radar this week. Yeah, 99% chance that Perez falls this week, Demiri. So I would probably get off Perez if I could, especially for Lindblad. I think Racing Bulls looks okay. Bring in Lawson instead of Colapinto for a negative 10. Not mandatory because I expect Colapinto will at least get a little bit of a rise. Alpine does look a little slow, so that's a tiny bit concerning. So I don't think Lawson is going to outscore Colapinto by 10 points, but with the budget, it's probably worth it. So it's a little bit of a coin flip. Gasly or Hadjar? Gasly, if we think it's going to go the way it's going to go with this silly rule that F1 Fantasy F1 Fantasy has decided to do. Forgot to change my team and my budget was ragged. How does Antonelli, Gasly, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari for budget, or should I swap Gasly, Lindblad to Colapinto, Lawson? No, I think you're fine, Northern Ryan. Gasly, Lindblad is fine. McLaren, Mercedes, or Ferrari, Mercedes? Ferrari, Mercedes for me. So Gasly would be like 13. Yeah, would it be worth to change McLaren to Mercedes for negative 10? Probably, yes, just because of the long term as well. Is there a way to calculate Gasly's budget change so he gets negative 20 and points are adjusted? It'd be reassuring if he dead set 0.2 at the very least. We can just do that right now. I think Gasly's going to end up with what? Was it 25 points if he gets that? So 25 points here. So if he gets, okay, so if he rises, but then if he gets negative 20. So if he gets 25 points, a negative 19 is going to be 0.2. So if he gets into Q3, you should be fine there, ABK. I think that's what we are talking about there. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes for negative 10? Yes. Would you say Gasly is a must pick or not based on what we know ATM? I do not have him in my lineup right now. I would say so, just because of the game we're playing. I don't get why they didn't update it before when it's so simple to calculate new points and price changes. Yeah, I agree, Troll. Manny, I would say, yeah. Is it worth to use a transfer to go from Colapinto to Lawson? If it's a luxury transfer, yes. If it's a free transfer, as long as it's a -10, it's a coin flip. If it's a free transfer, probably. My team that I'm thinking of doing: Russell, Gasly, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Mercedes, and Racebulls wildcard. Any tips? No, I like it. How you and I have an insane budget of 150, but I have no idea how to use it. I also have that budget in my T1 squad here. I've only got 2 free transfers in this squad, though. And I'm thinking I can do Antonelli. And if I do Bortoleto down to Hulkenberg, which I don't love, but it's fine. That means I can get Pierre Gasly in there. And that's a -10. And that's probably what I end up with. I could also avoid Hulkenberg, I believe, if I do something like this. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, I need to get Hulkenberg in my squad. For a -10, that feels like it's an okay way to set me up for the future. Kimi, Lawson, Gabby, Colapinto, Bottas with Mercedes. For thinking of just swapping Bottas for Hulk, that's fine by me. Get Hadjar and Gasly. Wouldn't that be nice? Ferrari and Gasly, or McLaren and Ocon? Ferrari and Gasly for me. But so Gasly at 100% will rise for 0.6 if he scores 1 point. Pretty much, I think. Ocon and Mercedes, or Gasly and McLaren? Oh. I guess Gasly and McLaren. That's a good way to attack the weekend, I suppose. Is it worth upgrading Colapinto to Gasly? Is it worth upgrading Colapinto to Gasly? Yes. If I pick Ferrari and Merc and Hulk, I don't know what to pick as last driver with 7.6 budget. Probably... Don't you dare say Simply Lovely. Well, I just said it now. Thank you, Matt. I would go Lindblad, probably. Mr. Best says, my current T1, Antonelli, Behrman, Ocon, Bortoleto, Perez with Ferrari, Mercedes, 113.4 budget, and can wildcard into whatever. I can go Antonelli, Lawson, blah, 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 or... I think as long as it's not a -30, Mr. Best, you can go with whatever you want. I would not want Behrman in my squad this week. My Limitless in Monaco was looking great until it all went to 2x transfers with chips available. Antonelli, Perez, Stroll, Bortoleto, Ocon, Mercedes, McLaren currently. Don't know where to go. Stroll and Perez out for Hulkenberg and Lawson. I think that should fix your team a little bit there. I have Antonelli, Ocon, Colapinto, Bottas, and Stroll for our Mercedes. I'm not sure what changes to. My budget is 110 million. You can get Bottas out for Hulkenberg and move Stroll over to Bortoleto. Score prediction versus Haiti tonight. It's gonna, I don't know. I'm thinking 3-1. 3-1, I'll be pretty happy with. At the end of the day, I'll be happy with all 3 points, and we just have to survive on goal difference against Brazil and Morocco. But I'm gonna go 3-1. I think we'll be surprisingly nervous because we don't really enter a lot of games as favorites. And I'm assuming we're favorites in this game. But just get me across the line. That's all I need, F1 edits. Ocon and Mercedes, or Gasly and McLaren. Gasly and McLaren. The pub. What do you think about Antonelli, Hadjar, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Mercedes, Ferrari? Should I? That's kind of nice. That's pretty nice, Matt. I like it. McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, Mercedes. Ferrari, Mercedes for me. My current T2, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Behrman, Bortoleto, Ferrari, 112 points with 3. I was thinking of going from Bortoleto to Hulkenberg and Behrman to Ocon. Yeah, that's okay. I don't love Ocon this week. 8 points, 17 points. The Haas doesn't look that good. Ocon never qualifies in Q3 either. I didn't watch FP3. Ferrari still better than McLaren. I think bang for your buck value, yes. I think like I said, I was reading Coffee Corner Motorsport, Terry's breakdown of FP1 and FP2 last night, and it seemed to suggest that the Ferrari long run was pretty good. Need advice? Got 110 million, but I'm not sure. Hard to take a negative. Yeah, I wouldn't take a -20, Andreas. Bottas to Hulkenberg and Stroll to Lindblad? Maybe that's where I'd go with that. Current team, Mercedes, McLaren, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Colapinto, Perez. Can you do Perez down to Lindblad? Or can you do Perez, Colapinto to Lawson? Maybe. Think about taking Ant off to just not cap for Russell. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hello, Ewan. Lawson, Bortoleto to Gasly, Hulkenberg? That's really close. That is really close. Congrats on the 1-1 tie. I didn't watch the second half, so I'm not entirely sure what Canada did. I was kind of hoping Canada would lose. Is double Audi just for this week too risky? It's risky, but I think it enables enough that I'm willing to go for it. For T3, I'll be wildcarding to Antonelli Mercedes Racing Bulls with whoever I can fit in for 109.4 million. That sounds pretty good. Leclerc to Russell, that's a big jump. If you want to be aggressive, you go for it. But you already answered one of my questions, but can I move Colapinto to Gasly for -10? Is that worth it? Yes, I think. That's a really tough one. But yeah, probably. Lawson Borletto to Gasly Hulkenberg. It feels a little sideways, friend, but it is taking advantage of the Gasly upside and the lack of downside for Hulkenberg, so I probably would. I don't love getting rid of Lawson, though. M626 says, I have Mercedes, McLaren, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Alonso, Perez, Bottas with 109.8 million. Should I take a -20 to swap Perez, Bottas, Alonso, McLaren to Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Ferrari? Really trying to prioritize budget after a failed limitless in Monaco. -20 is tough. Val, I believe I've already answered that question, my friend. I think I'm going Gasly, McLaren in that scenario. Just for, well, I really hate the Ocon Mercedes pairing, but I do love Mercedes the most. Gasly McLaren is probably more well-rounded. Ocon Mercedes has the highest upside with Mercedes. M626, really trying to, that will prioritize budget. Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Ferrari. Yeah, I don't see, it's not bad. It may be a little bit, I mean, you're getting off of Perez, Bottas, Alonso. Yeah. Getting off of all those assets is good. Honestly, you might wildcard there for -20. Might just help it feel a little bit better. Jason Nealand, another pole sitter, 116.6 budget. Nice flex. Currently sitting Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Colapinto, Lawson, Ocon, Bortoleto with 3 free transfers. Thinking Ocon to Gasly, but not sure if she transfer anyone else out. Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Colapinto, Lawson, Ocon to Gasly. Yeah, I think you're sitting pretty nicely there, Jason, and you're just going to have to burn a transfer, which is a great thing to have. Do you think P3 actually told us much? I mean, I think Ferrari is looking okay. It's nice to see Alpine kind of climb out of the bottom half of the midfield. So not a lot, but a little bit. Jables says, good day, Ewan. Good day, Jables. Hope you're having a great day. Julia, just a book lover. The best I can do for this weekend is Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, and Lindblad with a -10 to bring in Colapinto. I don't love a hit to bring in Colapinto because you might have to get him out next weekend, Julia. So maybe take another... It's okay if... You just might have to transfer Colapinto out next weekend. Just a heads up on that, Julia. But thank you for the question. Mr. Iceman says, stream started early apparently. Can't believe you're in the Balkans, dude. How are you enjoying Kosovo? Food good? I've only had brunch so far, but it was amazing. 2 brunches, 2 coffees, a lemonade for 20 euros. You ain't beating that anywhere. That was incredible. So yes, having a great start. Mr. Iceman, thank you for asking. Hi, Ewan. T3 got Kimi, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Lawson, Ocon, Mercedes, Ferrari. Should I play wildcard on this team and get Kimi, Gasly, Hadjar, Lawson, Colapinto, Mercedes, VCarb, or keep it? But I feel like Hadjar isn't that good this week. I wouldn't play a wildcard on that squad. It's vibes because Mercedes, Ferrari is a pretty good combo. Ocon out. You could go Ocon to... Can you go Ocon to Lindblad? Or Ocon to Lindblad and Colapinto to Gasly or something like that? Maybe. Maybe that's not the worst. So is Gasly guaranteed to get 25 points? Not guaranteed, but the game is... Well, let's go find... Oh, F1 Fantasy Tools. Just ask and you shall receive. We don't know yet how the price changes in F1 Fantasy will be calculated for the Spanish Grand Prix. Will it be based on the points that are currently live in the game, Gasly P7, or will it be based on the points after the changes, Gasly P3? We now have the required points for both scenarios up. This website is so clutch. God, they are the best. And, oh, good. Yeah, here we go. Where are we at? Yes, let's do this. If you want to use my promo code, POLL50, you'll get 50% off your first month at f1fantasytools.com. And I cannot recommend it enough. Look what is happening. They are just improving the site on the fly. They are so much better than the actual game. It is crazy. So required points with Monaco changes. Lawson. So Gasly will, oh, let me change that. So in Monaco, or this weekend, Lawson needs -5, Gasly needs 6, Hulkenberg 5 and 8, that doesn't change, Colapinto 1-9. Hadjar does go up quite a lot, 13 to 23. So Hadjar might not be as good of an option this week. Lindblad goes up, so he might not be as good of an option either. Ocon stays the same. Bortoleto, I think he is maybe gone up a little bit. Was he like 5 and 8, and now he's 6 and 11? So that prioritizes Lawson and Gasly for me. So I'm going to try and stay on that page. Just such a fantastic website. Do I sub out Behrman? No real budget to go higher. Would you sub it for? I would sub him out for Lawson. Ryan? Good question. I have Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto, and Bottas. What would you do? I know Bottas has to get out. Yeah, Bottas for Hulkenberg saves you 0.7, and that can, I don't know where that can really get you. That's probably about it. That's probably it. Very close to 4A team is bringing in Racing Bulls Ferrari Smart for trying to build budget. Also top 3 in league points ATM. It's probably gets you that extra 0.3 boost, but it's going to hurt in the points department. If we go to the Sims, like that's almost like 35 points you're giving up for 0.3 budget. Don't know if that's worth it. What do you think? What do you prefer, Colapinto or Hadjar or Gasly that goes Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lawson, Ferrari, Mercedes? I prefer Gasly. I went for Mercedes, McLaren, Piastri, Bortoleto, Hulk, Ocon, Colapinto. That's a fine squad. There's nothing wrong there. Good shout. Zemani? Norbert? One of the two. Hi, should I replace Stroll with Hulkenberg or Lindblad, or keep Stroll? Replace them with Hulkenberg. Why did Rain keep Bottas in his team and take a -10? Antonelli isn't looking bad now. Antonelli is pretty much what Oscar Piastri was last year in F1 Fantasy. I think Rain is saying he has to keep Bottas in there, so because of the budget constraints that his team might have. And getting Antonelli, like if Antonelli starts P5, I think I said this at the top of the stream, like there is nothing wrong with that because he's likely to climb up to P2, P3 at least, a couple of positions gained, couple of overtakes, get some more points in there, you know, like gets a fastest lap, stuff like that. Like it could be that Antonelli scores more points than George Russell tomorrow, even if George Russell wins the whole race. Because George Russell is not winning Driver of the Day. That man is hated by the public. That is about the only thing I can guarantee with Driver of the Day is that George Russell will not win it. Kimi, Albon, Ocon, Bortoleto, Colapinto, Ferrari, Mercedes, 0.4. I'm so confused what to do. I am also confused, Madhav. Let's break it down here. Albon has got to get out of there. Albon to Lawson? Albon to Lawson and Bottas to Hulkenberg. I think you're fine there. That's okay. What do you prefer, Colapinto or Hadjar or Gasly that goes? Gasly. What is your expected points difference? F1 Fantasy Tools says about 10 points, but I am kind of buying into what I read last night that Ferrari's long run pace might be a little bit better. McLaren's one lap pace might be better. Ferrari's long run pace might be better. It was all containers. No beer at the track. There we go. Rain is having a good time there. I'm going Russell this week. Me versus all the other F1 Stewart, he's finished top 20 at least. The budget gains from Lawson is harder. Lawson or Gasly can't decide. Let's let this Gasly. All right. But you guys are here on the stream for me. So let's answer your questions. What are the best constructors to pick and who's the best A-tier driver? I still think Kimi Antonelli's the best Tier A driver, and I'm still backing Ferrari and Mercedes. Till which round should we plan on doing a budget build until we can go 2 top tier constructors and 2? It might only be a couple more races. By Silverstone, we might have some 4A drivers. Let's so this team here is 115 million. If we break this down here real quick, I got Antonelli, and let's say I bring in Hamilton. 9.9 million left. Hulkenberg, Bottas, 2.8 million. Depending on what happens around here, Lance Stroll is 4.8. You can shove him in there in 2 or 3 races time, maybe, if you are gaining some budget. And you could be on a 4A build by Silverstone. Is that a Scotland top? Well in me. Of course it is, Connor. Yes, I may sound like I'm not from Scotland, but I was born and raised in Aberdeen. So we are rocking and rolling. Haiti, they are enemy number 1 today. And honestly, maybe this is a little bit crazy. I think we can get a result against Brazil. I'm just going to say, I think we have a better shot against Brazil than we do against Morocco. But that's just me. Vinny who? Not even scared. Do they even know what mixed sauce is going to do to them? Jeez. If I buy Gasly now, will I still get the price increase from last week plus any increase from this weekend? That is the prevailing theory right now, Lataro Mendez. Thank you for the comment. But we do not know. We do not have any guarantee. It could all blow up in our faces. But it feels like it's an opportunity to take advantage of the game, making a silly decision a la what they did 2 seasons ago with the inactive driver getting 0 points or whatever and not getting, like, affecting the budget, if you remember that rule there. Just a quick sidebar. Hopefully you guys are liking the stream and subscribing to the YouTube channel. We are trying to get to 6K by the summer break. So if you want to ask a question, you got to subscribe for 1 whole minute. And then hopefully you forget that you're subscribed and you get to see my ugly mug all over your YouTube algorithm for the next year, forever. Whenever I'm going to just keep doing this. Is it too insane to be considering leaving Leclerc in? I'm unfortunately a hopeless Tifosi, and I can get Gasly if I don't make the Leclerc-Antonelli switch. That's a little crazy, Vio. It's a little crazy. So, but if you are a hopeless Tifosi, maybe you should just go for it. Bortoleto or Hulkenberg? I would go Hulkenberg, Jason. Let me just scroll through here real quick, guys. Just got to find if we got anything else going on from the old members. All right. Rebecca says, Antonelli had been given a reprimand for impeding, but no... What? Antonelli has been given a reprimand for impeding? That's not what I saw in FP3 from what I was watching. Jeez. Okay, I am really far behind, guys. I'm going to go lightning speed for the next 15 minutes, and then hopefully we'll have some FP3 sims. What do you prefer, Colapinto or Hadjar or Gasly? Gasly. You need to summon the spirit of Archie Gamma. We're fine. McSauce, McGinn, Shanklin's on fire. Should I go McLaren plus Mercedes with Bottas or Mercedes plus Ferrari with double Audi? I have answered that question, Gambit. You must just keep missing my answer. It's Mercedes Ferrari. Is it worth trading Liam for Franco or Ocon? No, I like Liam. Hi, mate. How are you? Just arrived. What do you think about Kimi, Gasly, Lindblad, Nico, and Lawson plus Ferrari, Mercedes? I think that is amazing, Rodrigo. You should just keep that squad. Yeah, you're just right there. Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, or Lindblad as the 5th driver. I have 9.3 million with Antonelli, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, and Ferrari. Bortoleto for me. I have Antonelli, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Colapinto, and still one transfer. Colapinto, Gasly, or Hadjar. Try and balance and budget. How would the budget gains with new points for Hadjar? It doesn't look pretty, Mace. Not going to lie. If I can do this. If these points come in new, it's going to be not so good for Hadjar this week. If we are going with this route, and then possibly next week. So I prefer Gasly. Hey, you, and have a great weekend, man. Thank you, Narbert Yar. Appreciate that. Currently have triple Mercedes, Audi, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Ocon. What do you think changing Antonelli plus Audi to Bottas plus Ferrari? No, don't. You have all 3 Mercedes assets. They still look pretty strong this weekend. It's a different build you've got going on there, Tony. So that's interesting. Currently have triple Mercedes, Audi, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Ocon. What do you think changing ads? I would prefer changing Russell and Audi to like Bortoleto and Ferrari. How about that? Azir says, what do you prefer, Colapinto or Hadjar? Gasly. I prefer Gasly. Hey, who do you prefer, Lindblad or Bortoleto? Also, is minus 20 worth it for budget build? As long as you're not having to take another hit in the very near future, I would probably go Bortoleto because Lindblad needs 14 points for a rise. Bortoleto needs 6. Audi was pretty good here last year. I mean, I know they were kick Sauber. I thought they were supposed to bring updates, and then when the update thing came out yesterday, I was like, there's nothing on there. What have they done? But, so that's a little bit disappointing. Ocon to Gasly for -10. Yeah, that's fine. Wild card, Antonelli, Lawson, Hadjar, Gasly, Mercedes, Racing Bulls. I love it. I think I'm probably going to do something very similar, Tommy. Is it worth trading Liam for Franco or Ocon? Nope, I would keep Liam Nicolos. Double Audi or double Racing Bull? No, probably double Racing Bulls just because you get Liam Lawson, but if you can go, if you can just do Lawson and Hulkenberg down that route. I have Antonelli, Gasly, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari. Great squad. Thanks. Yes, that's a very nice squad, Sam. If I answer your question, guys, don't forget to leave a like before you get out of here. Bortoleto, Lindblad, or Ocon Lawson? Ocon Lawson. That's like a way big like budget difference as well. Everyone should take negative. Help me out a lot, says Kamichi. Yeah, there you go, Kamichi. Antonelli, Colapinto, Bottas, Bortoleto, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari. Worth switching Bottas to Hulkenberg and Colapinto to Gasly. Yes, it's Timo. I would do that. Also, guys, try not to repeat your questions too much. I promise I am getting to them. I'm just scrolling. I'm literally going one by one by one by one. Like, I'm trying not to miss any questions, but it's preventing other people getting getting to their questions if there are repeat questions because I'm just on autopilot right here. Antonelli, Gasly, Colapinto, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. Thoughts? That is simply lovely, Alexander. Love that squad. Gasly or Ocon or Hadjar? Gasly. Wildcard to T3 to this Antonelli, Gasly, Hadjar, Lawson, Colapinto, Red Bull, Mercedes, Racing Bulls, Mercedes, 2.8 in the bank. Yep, I'm going to be right there with you, Mr. Best. Hi, bro. 3 transfers. What to do? Ocon, Bottas, Bortoleto, 50th in the world. Well, first of all, congrats, Dado. Well done by you. Top 50 in the world. That's amazing. Obviously, you're subscribed if you're asking a question, so thank you for joining the channel. Ocon, so Bottas to Hulkenberg for me, and then maybe just Ocon to Lindblad because I don't think you're going to have enough money to get up to the Hadjars or the Gaslys of the world with just those 3 transfers. Patrick says, would you do -20 for Antonelli, Bortoleto, Perez, Colapinto, McLaren, Mercedes to Antonelli, Gasly? Yes, I would do that second option there. Is Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Gasly, Lawson, McLaren, Ferrari worth a -30 or a wild card? If you're going to do the -30, then the wild card is worth it, Vout. What do you think about Kimi, Gasly, Lindblad, Nico, and Lawson plus Ferrari, Mercedes? Yep, going to end up with a very similar team to that, Rodrigo. Is switching Ant to Russ worth it, considering the points need to get... Nope, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think the points are going to be very similar in the end, and I don't think we're going to be... Yeah, I don't think it's be that bad at all. So I'm driving, so this is talk to text. Kimi, Lawson, Ocon, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes, Team 1. Kimi, double Alpine, double Audi, Mercedes, McLaren. Any thoughts? Double Alpine, double Audi, Mercedes, McLaren. That's a pretty nice team. Yeah, I like that, Big Mike, or Big Mikkel. Gasly versus Hadjar. How does Hadjar budget change with updates? I'm going Hadjar there, Mace. I think I actually already answered that question. I should just double Racing Bull or double Audi. Double Racing Bull for me. Lawson and Colapinto or Lindblad and Hadjar with a -10. Lawson, Colapinto. Similar to your T2 team, however, I can afford Gasly with Hulk. Do you prefer this or going Mercedes, McLaren with Bortoleto? I prefer the first option, Gasly with Hulk, yeah. Need to get Behrman out, but who replaces him at his budget? Probably Liam Lawson. I have cooked T3, no wildcard. Antonelli, Albon, Alonso. Oh, I have a cooked T3. Yeah, same here. Thinking -20 to go to Antonelli, Lawson, Gasly, Hadjar, Colapinto, Mercedes, VCARB. Yep, I think I need a -30 to go down that route, so I'm going to use it for me. -10, worth it Ferrari to McLaren? No, because then you're just giving those points back, to be honest. Like, Ferrari and McLaren will be very close. McLaren needs 56 points for that max rise, and their reliability has been not great at all. Ocon or Colapinto? Colapinto. I think I already answered that, Dado. Hopefully you heard me. I've got 107.1 million with Bortoleto, Bottas, Perez, Antonelli, Colapinto, Mercedes, and Ferrari, and already used wildcard. What do you recommend this week? Debating down to V-Carbon points hit to free up space to budget like Gasly. What do you think? Perez down to Hulkenberg? Or Bottas down to Hulkenberg? Can you go Perez and then just maybe Perez to Lindblad? I don't think that's too bad. Or Perez, no, you don't want to keep losing budget, I guess. Perez to, you already have Bortoleto. Yeah, that's a tough spot. You could go down to V-Carb. I would go Lawson for, no, keep Lawson. Lawson, Bortoleto, or Gasly, Bottas hurting after limitless disaster in Monaco. I would go Gasly, Hulkenberg, if you could. The atmosphere is amazing here in Barcelona. I'm going to watch my first F1 career live family. Let's go! Enjoy your joint 50-12. Hopefully you have a great time. Thanks for the content. Appreciate all the vibes. You are very welcome, Eric. Thank you for joining the channel and asking a question. Who is the best 2X this weekend? I'm still going to go with Kimi Antonelli. Perez to Lawson, Ocon, Gasly, Behrman, Hulkenberg, taking -10, will have double Audi with Antonelli, Ferrari, Mercedes. I'm going to be in a very similar spot to you, Mr. Best. That is a great idea. Hey, you, which driver do you think will potentially final fix for? I guess if McLaren puts it on pole, but I kind of just expect Mercedes to overtake them no matter what. So, I don't know. I don't think final fix will be on the table this weekend. I think Mercedes still has quite a clear advantage over the rest of the field. I'll be happily surprised wrong if we start to get a championship all of a sudden. But for now, I just don't know. Like, I need to see it first before I take that leap into the McLaren kind of thing. What do you think about Kimi, Gasly, Lindblad, Nico, and Lawson plus Ferrari, Mercedes? Should I change Gasly for Hadjar? No, keep Gasly. Is it worth trading Lawson for Colapinto or Ocon? Keep Lawson. Oh, I already answered that. Piastri, Colapinto, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Ferrari. That's an interesting build, but Kimi Antonelli is right there, so I'd probably go with Kimi Antonelli. Tom Williams, 9489. What is up, Tom? Hi, Ewan. What is going to happen if I get Gasly this week? It could be worth a -10 if I can move him from Colapinto and get more points this week. And then his, yep, I think that's kind of the move, Tom. That's what I'm doing as well. Stay Colapinto, Bortoleto, and move to Gasly, Bottas. Only way to get Gasly. I'd go Gasly to Gasly, Hulkenberg, SMCD if you could, but if it's Bottas, then I guess it's got to be Bottas. If I could bring in Lawson, but are we thinking if we bring in Gasly, we could benefit from the I believe so, Henry. I think that's why we're going down that route. We are just over an hour to go until the deadline. The hotel Wi-Fi is still holding up strong, as is the subscribers. We're almost at 5850, which is crazy because I think on the Q&A stream the other night, it was 5750, and you guys are absolutely crushing it. Shout out to Zach GP, by the way. He went over 1 million views this week on his YouTube channel, and he had a very nice, like, little heartfelt video. It was kind of funny because I think I actually went over the 1 million views the same day that he did, and I was like, I'm not trying to step on his thing, but thank you to you guys for the 1 million views on the channel, which just sounds insane when you say it out loud. 1 million views on this silly F1 fantasy channel. So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying all the content and still hanging around for the season. Got out of the shower right before I went on stream here. So my hair is going to be very interesting the rest of the day. But, oh, in 12 hours, I will be watching Scotland in a World Cup game for the first time since a young 7-year-old Ewan was crying in his nana's living room at like 10 o'clock at night after Morocco thumped us 3-0. I'm hoping I see a World Cup goal for Scotland for the first time since the Norway game. Craig Burley, shout out to Craig Burley, longtime lover of the F1. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, come on, Scotland. We can get this done tonight. Use 3 free transfers to have Kimi, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lawson, double Audi is scary for DNF. It is scary for DNF, but it's not that scary. I believe Formula Fantasy Hub, Rob, did a pretty good deep dive on that. I'm thinking to make move for Gasly, Colapinto, Behrman to get Gasly, Hulkenberg, double Audi, or Gasly, Lindblad. Gasly, Hulkenberg is A-OK. LOL, Ant is not starting. He's probably not starting 5th. You're right, no Ferrari, no cry. But he has had a not straightforward weekend so far. And if he got 5th, that would be amazing. Wow, congratulations. Thank you, Vio. Thank you. Thank you for joining the channel this week, or supporting the channel that little bit extra this week. Rebecca says, I can get to Antonelli plus 2 Audi, 2 Alpine, Mercedes, Ferrari, my poor limitless T2 squad from last week. Probably better than using wildcard tip, do you think? I believe so, Rebecca. Yeah, I think that's right. That seems like a good idea. I think I'm catching up to the channel. I think it was for driving erratically. Okay. Good to know, Rebecca. Good to know. I was just about to say I think I'm catching up, but it doesn't look like I'm catching up at all. Hulk or Bortoleto? Hulkenberg, probably, just for the lack of budget downside. What do you think about Kimi, Gasly, Lindblad, Nico, and Lawson plus Ferrari and Mercedes, Rodrigo? I think I answered that, and I really like it. Ocon versus Hadjar? Ooh. I think still Hadjar. Which one you choose and why? Team 1, Kimi, Gasly, Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari, or Team 2, Kimi, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, McLaren? I prefer Mercedes, Ferrari because I still think it's like a little bit better bang for your budget. Perez, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Colapinto, Mercedes, Ferrari. No chips used. Any obvious decisions? You got to get Perez out of there. Perez to Hulkenberg is fine, and then you could maybe upgrade Lindblad to Lawson that way. And then you have some pretty nice, easy budget risers there, Connor. Already answered that, Nico. Already answered that, Gabbett. Z13104, Gasly, Lindblad, or Colapinto, Lawson. Just Gasly, just banking on the upside here. If Gasly's going up 0, what do you think is the max number of negative 10s? A wild card, one negative 10. One negative 10 is worth it. Who would your top 3 tier A drivers be? Antonelli, Russell, and then how did FP2 go last night? Maybe Leclerc. Leclerc. Yeah, I still don't totally buy into McLaren yet. I'm still a little bit wary. They hurt my heart with the Limitless in Canada. T1 got Leclerc, Bottas, Bortoleto, Colapinto, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari. Should I play wild card and get Kimi, Gasly, Colapinto, Lawson, Lindblad, Mercedes, and hear me out, Alpine? What do you think? I don't love that. It's vibes. I'd prefer Racing Bulls over Alpine. Franco or Lawson? Lawson. Lannister says hello. Hello, Lannister. I think I answered that, Dado. I answered that. I would get Bottas out of there for Hulkenberg, for sure. And then Ocon, you can just go to Lawson. Do you think McLaren are looking hot this weekend? I think they're looking hot, but not hot enough for me to, for my eye to stray away from Ferrari. I'm still okay with Ferrari. The reliability has been fantastic. Like 69, 119, 75, 57, 69, 29 in Monaco with a DNF. And then we just look at McLaren like 19, -7, 72, 110, 33, 17. Like so much more reliability issues there. Haiti is better than most people think. I fear you might struggle tonight, says Ravenko. Why would you put that on me, Ricky Bobby? But I think they'll be good. I'm just hoping that we're better. And that's all I can do. Lawson / Colapinto versus Gasly / Lindblad. That's a tough one. That might be where I go Lawson and Colapinto. But I think I may have said a different answer for that. Every which way to the moon. Best wildcard team for 107.4 million. That is a very tough question, Umer. Probably I would start with Antonelli, Mercedes, Ferrari, and then work my way up from there. You're probably going to have to shove Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lindblad, and maybe you can get to Lawson there. Not entirely sure. What do you think about... Oh, I already answered that question, Rodrigo. Best wildcard team for 113.1 long term. You got to get Lawson and Gasly, Antonelli, Ferrari, Mercedes in there, and then just fill in the last 2 slots. Is it worth using wildcard to go from... wildcard is worth -30. Is it worth trading Lawson for Colapinto or Austin? No. Should getting rid of Bottas be a priority? If it enables you to get to Gasly, yes. Optimal wildcard team? I've got 115 million on this squad here, so I'd bring in Antonelli. I mean, I'd like Colapinto, Gasly, and maybe Hulkenberg. I mean, that's fine. That's 3 transfers. That's a -10. That would probably be where I'm at. That's 113.5 million. Should I go with 1 or 2? I'm leaning towards Hadjar. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Y'all are absolutely crushing this today. I'm almost scared to see where we're at here. We currently have 260 people watching, which is a lot. Don't forget to like this stream if you can. And I will keep going through it. Is it better to have 2 drivers or teams? Teams. Still. Half of my family's from Aberdeen, other half's from Newfoundland. That generally is so funny that you're from here. That's so sick. Yeah, I am from Pitmedden. Probably closer to Udney Green or Tarvis, to be honest. But I went to school at Pitmedden and moved to England before I could go to Meldrum Academy. Connor, so there you go. A little bit of F1 Fantasy pole position lore just for you guys today on the deadline stream. What do you think of McLaren this week? Get or hold for now? I would just hold off. I'm gonna wait and see. I like really need to see them put it to Ferrari before I kind of hop in there. Hulkenberg or Lindblad? Probably Hulkenberg. Just for the lack of budget downside. Would you go with Russell if you have a free transfer? If you want to be aggressive, yes, but I still think Kimi Antonelli is the best bang for your buck driver. Swap Ocon for Gasly or take a -10 or keep Ocon. Get Gasly in. Would it be crazy to get Piastri for Antonelli? That's a little bit out there for me. I'm still going to roll with Antonelli. I'm still not buying into McLaren full. Like, I'm not all in on McLaren. Not by a long shot, to be honest. Just want to see what else we're going. Also, how sick are these V-carb shirts? Usually, I hate, like, the massive logo on the front, but it actually kind of suits the vibe of the football soccer jersey, and I'm into it. I'm definitely into that. Might need to be looking at that on the sale sometime. Right now I have Antonelli, Bortoleto, Lawson, Ocon, Behrman, Ferrari, Mercedes. Should I transfer out Ocon and Behrman, and for who? I would transfer out the Haas guys, Ocon and Behrman for... You could go to kind of a Bortoleto Gasly vibe there, I think, Zenith. Let me know if that works. Green says, I've got Mercedes, Ferrari, and Antonelli, Colapinto, Stroll, Bottas, Perez. I think I should take a -10, but curious your thoughts, and if so, and who? Yes, Stroll, Bottas, Perez, get them out of there. Bottas to Hulkenberg, Stroll. Stroll to Bortoleto is actually kind of a... You have to go up, right? What's that, 0.8 million? Perez to Lindblad, Stroll to Bortoleto, Bottas to Hulkenberg. Hey, what would your thoughts be on Gasly plus Hulk versus Lawson plus Lindblad? Gasly Hulk for me. Hulkenberg or Lindblad with Gasly. Hulkenberg would mean double Audi. That's fine. I'd go Hulkenberg Gasly. Why is Gasly better than Hadjar? Because the F1FantasyTools.com, fantastic website, has done it. Oh, and now we have FP3 sims. So now we're talking. Post FP. Oh, whoa. Okay. There's an A, a B, a C, a D, an E. We are at Ferrari levels of simulations right now, guys. So just give me 1 second. Let's see. He probably explains it. So A is dry average, Gasly, old points, pessimistic, Gasly 0.8, old points, Gasly 0.0, new points, Gasly 0.8, new points, optimistic, and Gasly 0.4, half new points, hedge. Oh my days, Ryder. You are absolutely crushing it. Maybe he's explained it. Okay. Printouts and decisions are based on E. I'm not a fan, but I don't know what else to do. Note there is some numerical noise between the sims. I've increased the number of runs from 10,000 to 20,000 to mitigate that somewhat. Whew. I think I'm going to go with... Okay, so if we go with D, well, let's go with E. This is the hedge. So there we go. We'll work with those for now. So all of the sims... points in the top right hand corner now are invalid because that was post FP2. But Gasly is better than the Hajar because if the scores are changed for Monaco, oh my goodness, we go with E, or that doesn't really work actually. These go D, then Gasly. So he has a 68% chance of going up 1.4 million. Like, that's what we're going with here. I prefer Gasly, Raziel. Double Audi and double Alpine, worth it, but my other assets are Antonelli, Mercedes, Ferrari. I'm getting rid of Bottas, Stroll. I'm thinking bringing in... Yep, that's perfect, J-Ken. Lawson or Gasly? Gasly. Swap off for Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Lawson. But negative 20, I already have Colapinto, McLaren. That's a lot of points you're giving up there. But you are getting off of Perez and Bottas. I'd maybe try... Can you just get off of Perez and Bottas? Maybe there's a way there. Yeah, I would take a look at that again, Patrick. Which team you choose? Team 1, Kimi, Gasly, Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari, or Team 2, Kimi, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, McLaren. I would go Mercedes, Ferrari. Is it worth taking negative swap to... yep, it is worth a negative 10. Hulkenberg or Lindblad with Gasly. I mean, double Audi. Yep, I think I already answered that, Lannister. Thinking of going Antonelli, double Audi, double Racing Bulls, Mercedes, and McLaren with negative 10. Bottas. Thoughts? I mean, that negative 10 points to get McLaren in, you're essentially just giving back to Ferrari, which on the new Sims is going to put you down a point, if that's how you want to think about it. Okay, I'm going to look at my T1 squad. They really are a little obsessed with me getting in George Russell. I'm not going to get George. I'm getting Kimi Antonelli into my squad. Filters, we're going to go expected points, 180. I'm kind of feeling like this is more of a budget building weekend, guys. It doesn't even want me to get Gasly in. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I guess he's not super confident in Gasly. $180 and then plus 2.18 million. Kind of like it. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto. Gasly DNF would be kind of... It feels like it's probably going to go that way. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg would say, can I get to this with two, or should I stick to Ferrari? I would just stick with Ferrari. Gasly plus Gabi or Hajar plus Lindblad? Gasly plus Gabi for me. Gasly plus double Audi worth it? Yep, I think so. Good morning. Have Antonelli, Leclerc, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Bottas, Ferrari, Haas have 2 transfers. Was thinking of setting this for negative 10. Thoughts? I would try to get off of Haas for sure, and Bottas if you can. This is not right. Only people that had Gasly should benefit from the chat. I totally agree, Antares. I 100% agree, but unfortunately, this is the game that we have, so we have to play the game for that. Negative 10 for Colapinto, Gasly, yes. If I can only afford 2 out of 3 of Colapinto, Gasly, and Lawson, which 2 biggest priority? PS, already have Colapinto, will be swapping negative 10 to him. Gasly and Lawson are probably your better priorities, Varen. My plan was to Antonelli, Colapinto, Ocon, Lawson, Hulkenberg, but with the Gasly news, I probably go Antonelli, Colapinto, Gasly, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, considering I don't want to use more than my 2 transfers. Like your content. Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate that. Colapinto, Gasly, Bortoleto. Yep, that's perfect. You're A-okay there, Lucas. Should we sell Ferrari? No, I don't think so. Good morning. Did I just answer that question, Drew? I did. I did just answer that question. Are we thinking McLaren is much better? Not much better, especially not for a negative 10. I'm sorry I didn't say this. If I do Bottas to Hulkenberg and swap Ocon to someone, I have 13 points. So who to put in? It's hard to say. I would go Gasly, Dado. I would definitely go Gasly. Antonelli, Leclerc, Hadjar, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, and Racing Bull. 0 point off swapping Hadjar for Gasly. Ouch. Ugh. That sucks, but you might just have to be stuck there. Hulkenberg or Lindblad? Probably Hulkenberg. Sorry if this has already been asked, but Gasly or Hadjar, confused on what's going on with the reshuffle. Just Gasly. Gasly's the answer. Antonelli, Gasly, Colapinto, Bortolotto, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes. I like it. I know you already answered this, but without the negative 10, it's Colapinto and Lawson to Hadjar and Lindblad. Worth it. Colapinto, Lawson to Hadjar and Lindblad. Worth it. Without the negative 10. No, not if it was Gasly, yes. Hadjar, probably not. Hulkenberg or Lindblad with Gasly. Hulkenberg would mean double Audi. Hulkenberg. Lindblad, Bortolotto, McLaren, or Gasly, Ferrari. Gasly, Ferrari for me. But Lawson over Colapinto for negative 10. Greetings from Spain, says Filippo. Colapinto could come back. Goodness gracious, what's going on here? Is anyone else playing Map Tap? Because I am obsessed with Map Tap. We have a nice little group going on my fantasy football kind of vibe thing. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Okay. I don't even have a poll up. Goodness gracious, what am I doing here? Best 2X driver. Or let's just do straight best second tier A constructor. I should be getting you guys answering these in the polls. My bad. My bad. I'm just so off it today. Well, I'm not off it, but I just was rusting. Best second tier A constructor. Let me know. McLaren versus Ferrari. Straight up. I was so close to final fixing Leclerc for Verstappen at Monaco, but I followed your lead and avoided a mistake. Thank you. You're welcome, Otaps. Should I take a negative 10 to get McLaren out? McLaren out? No. Okay to use no negative. I'm scared about double Audi. I don't like using no negative on like theoretical DNFs, Connor. I prefer to save it for a rainy day. Oh, Sims are out, says Impulsives. Thanks for the stream, mate. We're going to pump Haiti. That's what I'm talking about, Connor. Oh man, I'm trying my best here, guys. I promise I'm trying to get to every single question before the deadline. I also have to figure out my own team at some point. So we're going to get to that too. For budget, keep Colapinto Bortolotto to move Gasly. Bottas, only way to get Gasly. Can you do Gasly Hulkenberg instead? That's what I would do. Hey man, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortolotto, Lindblad. Why does it do this? Sometimes I have to go all the way down just so I can scroll all the way back up. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortolotto, Lindblad, McLaren, Mercedes, or Antonelli, Lawson. I like the Mercedes-Ferrari pair. McLaren, Mercedes, or hold on to McLaren, do Ocon to Lawson. Ocon to Lawson, yes. Hi, I feel there'll be a crash between the two Mercedes. If that happens, everyone's probably going to be affected. You can go to the elite data on f1fantasytools.com, and we can see that in the global top 500, 98.2% have Mercedes. I don't think that's going to go down that much, so it's okay. It can do way more harm for you to get Mercedes out and then they don't crash than if they do crash. What is the best 3-driver combo between Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Hadjar, Gasly in terms of budget and points? Gasly, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Seth. That is the best answer there. McLaren's reliability has been shocking. 6 races and 2 DNFs and 1 DNS for Nard. That's why I'm not going near them this week. Bottas for Hulkenberg? Yes. Yes. Hello, Ewan. Would you switch Bortolotto for Lindblad for negative 10? Worth the switch? No, not for negative 10. Probably not. Especially, I think Bortolotto has a better odds of... Bortolotto has a better odds of rising. Why did everyone to Hadjar on 13 points and not 18 after Gasly P3? Whatever they put, it's right. That's what I would trust them with. Is it worth swapping Colapinto and Bottas to Hulkenberg and Gasly Lindblad, or save a transfer and keep Colapinto? Gasly and Bottas to Hulkenberg and Gasly Lindblad. No, I like the Gasly. Mate move. Hi mate, how are you? I'm good, Snivens. How are you? I still can't understand how much Gasly needs to gain budget this weekend. A bunch? Yeah. My brain is slowly winding down here. Would you keep Ant? Yes, I would. Is Lindblad, Behrman to Hulkenberg and Gasly good with Colapinto? Behrman to Hulkenberg and Gasly good. Yes, Lindblad. Yeah, that's perfect. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, McLaren. Yeah, that's a really nice squad. Hulkenberg or Lindblad, Hulk with me, double Audi. Yeah, I'm going Hulkenberg. Now I can either go double RB, double Audi, or take Ocon. Sorry if this has been asked before, but I have budget for all three cases. I would go double Racing Bulls. Bruno G might cook Scotland's midfield thought. Yes, he might. He might. I've got Mercedes. For some reason, this YouTube is not. The chat is not cooperating. I think I should take the -10, but curious your thoughts on if so and why. I've got Mercedes. Stroll, Bottas, Perez out of there. If that costs a -10, yeah, take it. Which do you prefer? Antonelli, double Alpine, double Audi, Mercedes, Ferrari, or Antonelli, Gasly, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Mercedes, and Ferrari? I prefer... that is tough. Bottas is probably going to fall. Double Audi. I think I maybe like B better. Antonelli. I think they put too many sandbags on Antonelli's car. That might be correct. Colapinto versus Lawson. Lawson. Thanks, man. I love the show, my man. Thank you, Green. Which FP3 sim we look at now? This is a great question. There are so many FP3 sims. Okay, let's see what F1 Fantasy Tool says. We just got 5 different post FP3 sims from Ryder to give you a sim for all the possible ways F1 Fantasy might deal with the late point changes from Monaco. The 0.0, 0.8, or 0.4 is the potential extra budget for Gasly in Spain. Should actually be for those that had him in Monaco but might be fixed by giving him an extra price increase for Spain. Old points are if the price changes are calculated based on the old Monaco points currently live in the game. New points are the price changes if they first correct the Monaco points before calculating the price change. Option E hedges all the options into one. We actually don't know what will happen, so we're giving you the data to decide for yourself. Good luck, everyone. Yikes. That's a lot. That's a lot. If I had to choose B, it would be V-Carb for me. Holy Sims. Yeah, I know, right? There are multiple new Sims. So many new Sims. Hello, Sims out, Sims out, Sims out, Sims out, Sims out. Sound like George and Seinfeld. Sims out! Oh, that's Jerry, I guess. Hulkenberg or Lindblad with Gasly. Tempted to go with Mercedes McLaren 2x Norris. That's a big differential, Fraser. I'm not going there because I don't trust McLaren as much yet. Any thoughts about swapping McLaren for Red Bull Jr. and swapping someone like Colapinto for Russell and putting the 3x chip on Russell? I'd say probably not this weekend. We advise bringing in Audi, but one of them will probably do not finish. Possibly. You're right there, Nixie. So basically most squads will double Audi, double Alpine, or double... Yeah, I think that's going to be a fairly common pattern this week. Lawson, Colapinto, no -10 versus Gasly, Lindblad, -10. The Lawson Colapinto pairing is very tempting. And a no -10, plus you can probably get to like a 1.2 million increase okay-ish, especially if Lindblad falls. Gasly Lindblad has the upside, so... but the -10. The -10! Oh, it's so tough. I don't think you can go wrong with era pairing, but I know one of them is going to go wrong regardless. I maybe go Gasly Lindblad. I have Kimi, Lawson, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, and Albon with Mercedes and Ferrari. What should be my changes? I can bring Gasly or Bortoleto Lindblad. I would get Albon out of there. I'd try to get Gasly in there. But where else can you go? I guess if you went Colapinto, because what? Colapinto to Gasly and then Albon to Bortoleto? Maybe that'd be... I think I answered that question. Russ or Kimi? Kimi. Hamilton, Hulkenberg, or Hadjar and Gasly? Ooh, Hamilton, Hulkenberg. You are welcome, Kevin. Hey, just got to the stream. Thanks for doing this. Would you change my team? I have 2.4 cost cap remaining. Antonelli, Lawson, Ocon, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, plus Ferrari, Mercedes. 2.4 remaining? That should give you enough to go Ocon to Gasly. Matthew. So, yeah, I'd go down that route. I'd go Ocon to Gasly. Paul says, I have Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto. Still looking to budget build, but remain strong in points. So you're making going for Mercedes, McLaren, Antonelli. Thanks for the advice. I don't think you need to get off Ferrari this week. So I prioritize your transfers, getting in better budget drivers with points upside. Gasly or Hadjar? Gasly. I'm triple on V card. Should I play no negative? No, I think you're fine. FP3 Sims, bro, what is this? A, B, C, D, E, and yeah, it's the Ferrari Sims. That's what we're talking about. Got to transfer out Bottas, Perez, and McLaren. Thank you for the update, Riley. Appreciate that. Got to transfer out Bottas, Perez, and McLaren. Only 2 free transfers. Which 2 do I move out of my team with a -10? Need points. You got to get Perez and Bottas out of there. You don't have to get McLaren out. That's a little bit of a luxury transfer. But Perez and Bottas, Bottas to Hulkenberg, and then I don't even know how much Perez is these days. He's been out of my thoughts. 6.8 million. You can go Perez. You could go Perez to Lindblad and just hope for a price rise. Lindblad, Bordelot, McLaren, or Gasly, Ferrari? Gasly, Ferrari. Answer that. Why don't you like Colapinto? I don't not like Colapinto. I just think he's going to be a transfer out when we get to Austria. Jonas. So, like, I don't mind going a week early. So are we saying getting Gasly is worth a negative? I can get him, but need first get rid of both Perez and Bottas. I would get rid of Perez and Bottas first, and Gasly's probably going to be worth it if it all works out the way that it might work out. Honestly, I'm doing my best here, guys. I know Rob is on the stream. I know Adam and Terry are on the stream. I'm pretty sure Zach is on a stream as well. And we're all trying to do our best guess. I'm just going to go, I'm an optimistic guy, so I'm just going to go with the 1.4 million rise and just see what happens. And then I'll just complain about it later, because that is good content. If I'm tripled up on VCARB, Gasly, Lawson, and should I play no negative? I don't think so, Brad. I think you're fine. Why Ant over Russell at this point? Bang for your buck. If Antonelli starts P3 or P4 randomly in qualifying, he's probably going to end up with more points than Russell at the end of the day. With overtakes, positions gained, possible driver of the day, possible fastest lap. One thing I know for certain in F1 Fantasy, I don't know if there's death, taxes, and George Russell will not win driver of the day. Those are the 3 things you can count on in life. The Sims don't like Lindblad, bro. What do? Sims aren't everything. It's okay. We'll be all right. But Lindblad is not a priority transfer this week. He's probably going to be a priority transfer next week once the -16 from Canada falls off his 3-race rule in average. DS says, hi, you and I'm a wildcard. Gasly and Ferrari or Colapinto and McLaren? Gasly and Ferrari. They might seem a little bit ahead of Ferrari, but I'm still not entirely convinced. Ocon versus Colapinto, Colapinto. Hadjar, Lawson, Lawson. Gasly, Hulkenberg, or Lawson, Lindblad? Gasly, Hulkenberg. Colapinto, but I'd have double Alpine and double Lawson, but I'd have -10. I think I prefer Lawson, just long term. Is this a good team? Antonelli, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Lawson, Mercedes, and Ferrari? Thoughts? That is a very nice team, yes. Where are we at in the chat? Okay, oh, I'm getting there, folks. I'm catching you. Also, Gasly in with Bordelot or Hulkenberg, or Gasly plus Lindblad plus Hulkenberg? I guess if you want to spread your eggs, alligator, then Lindblad, Hulkenberg, and then you're a transfer ahead with Lindblad, but Bordelot or Hulkenberg might be better for this week. My chat first sent before sending the... Oh, sorry, Drew. You can just send it again. Okay. Have Antonelli, Leclerc, Colapinto, Bordelotto, Bottas, Ferrari, Haas. Have 2 transfers. Thinking of setting this for -10. Thoughts? Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bordelotto, Lindblad. I like it. Good day, sir, says Fraser. I like that team, Drew. Good day, Fraser. Sorry. If I drop Lawson and Colapinto for Gasly, I have 7 million. Who would you suggest? Probably Lindblad or Bordelotto. Which is better, double Alpine or double Audi? Probably double Alpine just for the budget upside. Who do I get rid of between Perez and Alonso? Goodness gracious. That is not a fun question, William. I guess I would go Perez, just on the off chance that Fernando Alonso gets another point and just totally spams driver of the day. Like, that's fine. What should I do? I have Antonelli, Hamilton, Behrman, Perez, Lawson, Ferrari, Haas, total budget 109. Probably would be getting Perez and Behrman out of your lineup. McLaren or Ferrari? Ferrari for me, just because they're bang for your buck. Anyone know what the difference in FP3 sims are? F1FantasyTools.com on X just posted a great explanation of them, Jas. You should go check that out. Why is Gasly better than Hadjar? Long-term budget building, just kind of that. Mr. Best says, very interesting team, but lock this team with Gasly, Hadjar, double Audi, Antonelli, Ferrari, or should I take either Colapinto or Lawson instead of Hadjar? I was debating between Hadjar or Lawson. Probably Lawson there, Mr. Best, instead of Hadjar. Can either do Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Lindblad with Antonelli, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Ferrari. Thoughts? I would go Gasly, Hulkenberg. Good morning, my friend. What do you think about my team? Russell, Colapinto, Gasly, Hadjar, and Bortoleto plus Mercedes and Audi. I think you must have kind of a lower budget, but that's kind of where I'm going with my T3 squad. 35 minutes to go. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely flying. But I like it. It's very different, but I like it. Stroll, Bottas, Leclerc, Colapinto to Hulkenberg, Lawson, Gasly, Antonelli. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. Ocon to Gasly for -10. I think so. So Gasly is going to increase in price by over 0.6, even more. Should we get him because of that? Exactly. Is it okay for -10 for Lawson instead of Colapinto? Oh, that's a tough one as well. I've probably answered that already, and I feel like I'm not entirely sure. I need to have a notepad up here and just be like, this is what I said for this question 3 minutes ago, which is not your fault, Barry. It's my fault. I should be remembering these questions better. -10 Lawson instead of Colapinto. I feel like Colapinto can rise this week. Lawson is set to rise. If you're okay in points and you're just trying to build budget, then it's fine. Hi, Ewan. What do you think about using a 3X chip? I don't really like that this weekend. Per Ewan, his brain probably fries with all these questions. It does, although it doesn't really go all that hard to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, we're just operating on E right now. Did get enough sleep last night, though. Is -10 worth it instead of wildcard? If you go over to a -30, definitely wildcard. User 445. -20, one time a season. One time a season, you can do a -20. So just think about that. F1 predict. I can just go through that quickly since people are asking about it. Predict the podium for the 2026 Barcelona Catalunya Grand Prix. Antonelli, Russell, Oscar. Who takes pole position? Yeah, I guess I'll change that. Let's change that to, let's get a little weird here. I'll put Lando on pole. Why not? Who qualifies highest? I guess I have to say Lando, or maybe I'll just hedge my bets and put Oscar in there. Will Audi get a car into Q3? I'm going to say yes. Which team will set the fastest pit stop? I'm just going to say Alpine for the law. Oh, wait, can I change it to Racing Bulls are right there? Yeah, I'm just going to stick it with Alpine. Will there be a safety car or VSC during the Grand Prix? I'm going to say yes. Who will finish ahead in the Grand Prix? I'm going to say Pierre Gasly finishes ahead. Where does Isaac Hadjar finish? Yeah, 4th through 10th. It's kind of boring, but who will set the fastest lap? Kimi Antonelli. How many classified finishers? Over 20. There we go. Hopefully that helped, guys. But I have to go back to F1 Fantasy now. I did do predict. I just did it right now, Ranger. So one more question, and I'm done. Thank you. So I go Antonelli, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Gasly, and still have who to go there. Leave Bortoleto, put someone like Lindblad. Maybe. Thank you for answering the question. You are very welcome, Dado. I would just keep Bortoleto in there, and you can move to Lindblad next week. There's a difference between being aggressive, but then also not using the transfer means you can be aggressive next week. Say Lindblad goes out, and now you have to flip it all again, and you can be like, ah. Information and F1 Fantasy will review all Monaco points and price updates after the Formula 1 MSC Cruises Grand Prix de Barcelona Catalunya 26 has concluded. Any necessary adjustments, points, and prices will be communicated as soon as the review is complete. I cannot wait to see what a disaster that is. So I've got Kimi, Ocon, Lawson, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Kimi double, Alpine double. My mouth is trying to keep up with my brain, and I don't think it's going very well. Double Alpine, double Audi is fine. Can you explain the Gasly thing? Will he increase it in price and how much? I honestly cannot explain it because they have not made a decision on it. All I can tell you is that I do not agree with the decision they made, Basti, and I am very much looking forward to what a disaster we have on the other side of this Barcelona Grand Prix. Is it worth it to take a -10 to swap Colapinto with Gasly? That seems excessive because I think Colapinto can rise, but the Gasly opportunity is just so great that it's really hard to turn it down. Bortoleto or Lindblad. Lindblad seems like a better long-term pick as Audi reliability, and Lindblad drops his DNF in the 3 internet. So that's why I would probably keep Bortoleto this week, Samsy, and then just flip into Lindblad next week, because then you know he's definitely going to rise, especially with the new Monaco points. If you go back to the budget builder here, and we go with required points with Monaco changes, if that happens this week, Lindblad needs 14 points to avoid a price drop. Is he going to get that this weekend? I don't know. So then we can just wait until next week, I believe. That's where I'm going with Lindblad. Antonelli, Bottas, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari, considered downgrade to V-Carb Alpine to get Gasly for Bottas. What do you think? Yeah, that's okay if you're just being aggressive with your budget. Hadjar, Lawson, Ferrari, or Colapinto, Lindblad, McLaren. With a -10. I'm assuming you can't get to Gasly, because if you could do Gasly, Lawson, Ferrari, then that one like runs away with it. Hadjar, Lawson, Ferrari, Colapinto, Lindblad, McLaren. I'll go Lawson, Ferrari. Yeah, I'll go the first one there, Kevin. Have you decided what you will do with T3? I have not. Worth a -10 to get Gasly instead of Lawson without an extra? No, because Lawson's still going to rise. And we pretty much know that for a fact. Gasly, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Perez, or Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lindblad, -10. The second one, William. Probably Bortoleto. Yeah, probably Bortoleto. Is Antonelli, Gasly, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari good? I could trade Hulkenberg or Bortoleto oh, David Deckham, what's up? I was considering Limitless the other day, but I've seen the light. Yeah, fair enough. I was kind of supporting you there. I have Antonelli, Hamilton, Lawson, Behrman, Perez, Ferrari, and Haas. Any advice? I have 109 budget. Get Perez and Behrman and Haas out there. Why Gasly over Hadjar? He might rise 1.4 million. Hey guys, what is up, Reese? Drop Behrman for -10 and replace with Colapinto. Or don't take the negative. Yeah, replace Behrman with Lawson. Antonelli, Lawson, Gasly, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. 2.6 million left. No notes. No notes. Colapinto, Gasly, if it costs a -10. Sure. So too long didn't read of the entire stream here. Double Audi is good. If you can have Lawson, Gasly, Hadjar, Colapinto, good. Antonelli, Ferrari, thank you, Mr. Best. Yes, I wish I could pin that. Should I keep Leclerc as my Tier A driver or swap? I prefer Antonelli. Jocks, is it worth taking a -10 to swap from Ocon, Colapinto, Bottas to Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg? Yes. Waffle Coffee, are we even sure that any won't affect only those that own different Monaco? We do not, which is great. I've not caught up with F1 Fantasy at all. What is this Gasly upside? What is the bad scenario? He can just rise 1.4 million. That is the scenario. Sachin says, I've got Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Gasly, Colapinto, Ferrari, and Mercedes. I think it should be good too. Big Mikkel says, so T1, Kimi, Lawson, Ocon, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari, swap Cadillac for Lawson, Hulkenberg, and Kimi, Gasly, blah, blah, blah. Anything you would change? If I drop McLaren, I can get to Hadjar over Colapinto by taking -20. Then don't drop McLaren, that's for sure. Maybe I try to get Ocon out. Why not Kimi? Why Kimi, not Russell today? I just bang for your buck. I just don't see a huge amount of upside. George Russell is not going to win driver of the day, so there's not that like huge points gap that's going to come along. And if Kimi is looking rough in qualifying, I still expect they'll be fine in the race pace tomorrow, and he'll make it up. Thanks, man. You have the best pronunciation. Yes. I think we were talking about that on the Q&A stream the other night, Matthew, because I was like, Mathieu, and you were like, it's not as French as it looks, and I was like, okay, my bad. How much will Gasly go up this price if he gets 0.2 this week? I don't know. This is why I don't like it. Prioritize budget or points for this race. I don't think we'll make any changes to points values for Monaco. I mean, it says they're going to do something, Fraser, so I don't know. Prioritize budget or points for this race. I think we can do a nice little balance here. I think Racing Bulls and Alpine can be okay, and Double Audi looks like it can get a Q3 car, so it should be okay there as well. Should I keep Bottas or sell him? Definitely sell Bottas. Gasly plus Hadjar plus Bortoleto or Gasly plus Lawson and Colapinto. Gasly plus Lawson and Colapinto. What is the hype over Gasly? I just joined the stream. He may rise 1.4 million. Because the game is broken. Are you going with Leclerc as 2x? I am not. It's McLaren and Lawson versus Ferrari and Gasly. Piastri or Norris? Probably Norris. My final dilemma is simply Lindblad versus Bortoleto. Help. Bortoleto for this week. McLaren and Lawson versus Ferrari and Gasly. Ferrari and Gasly. For me, I think general sentiment might be shifting towards Russell considering all the bad luck he's had. If he wins convincingly, I think he could be up for driver of the day. Not that I think it's worth getting him. Fair enough. It's not a bad point, Vio. Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Barloletto, Gasly, Lindblad, top 50 in the world right now, and really don't want to mess up. What do you think? It's a pretty nice squad you've got there. Lindblad is maybe the only weak link, Lindblad and Bortoletto, but I don't think you can really go anywhere else. Keep Leclerc, 0.9 in the bank. I'd rather not. Are we comfortable with double Alpine, double Audi? Yes. How sure are we about the Gasly price rise? Not very sure at all, Ranger Camera. Unfortunately, we're just all guessing, unless someone has insider info that I do not have, because that's all I'm going with right now. Have you heard from Quinton from BoxBox F1 Fantasy? Radio silence since Monaco. Hope he's all... Yep, he is fine, Big Mikkel. That is very nice of you to consider. I think he just had technical issues this week, which is what all F1 Fantasy content creators eventually run into. He is very new on the scene. I have been there myself. You record a whole episode and you're like, my freaking microphone wasn't plugged in. And it's like a Monday morning. You woke up at 5 o'clock to get the team selection out as fast as possible for you guys. You wanted to do all the great analysis. You do a great job. You're like, wow, I did that in one take. And then you're like, oh no, microphone wasn't plugged in. I have done that 2 or 3 or 4, half a dozen times, to be honest. So I think he just had technical difficulties this week. Gasly plus Lindblad versus Lawson plus Colapinto. Just got to go with Gasly. Do I go Leclerc to Piastri? It's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't think it's necessary. Did you think about Gasly decision challenged and turned around? I didn't like it. Well, I like that the decision was turned around. I don't like what F1 Fantasy has done with the game. 25 minutes to go, guys. I've been answering questions for 90 straight minutes. Literally, I think 90 straight minutes. So I'm just going to take 10 minutes to build my teams. And then I'm going to blitz the questions. I promise. I will do my best to get there. I will do my best to get to every single one of your teams. So, you're just watching me do this live. You are live on Big Brother. Please do not swear. Davina McCall reference, anyone? Throwing back to the good old early Big Brother days on Friday night. Big Brother house. This is Davina. You are live on Channel 4. Please do not swear. Like that smash button, says Jables. Yep. And for the Davina McCall impression, obviously. Although I'm not sure with what's happened to her. Did something bad happen? I was going to say she's a queen, but maybe something bad happened because British TV in the 90s is just terrifying to think of at all times. Kimmy, come on down. Bye-bye, Gabby Bortz. Nico Hulkenberg, come on down. And come on down, Pierre Gasly, for a -10. I feel like they don't like this version of my squad here. And just shoving all this in. X points. X budget. They want me to bring in Bortoletto and Hulkenberg. Who have I brought out here? Am I going crazy? Oh, they want me to keep Ocon in over... No, that can't be right, is it? Why would I bring out Lawson? That doesn't make any sense. Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto. But I can upgrade Bortoletto to Gasly. So why would I not do that? Am I going crazy? I have to have Gasly in my team. I don't know what's happening. My brain is not computing what's happening. But this is an A-OK squad. I think it's all budget building. So yeah, we're locking that in. I'm choosing Antonelli as my 2x boost. It's a -10. It is what it is. But we're going there. That budget is 115 million euro soto. So that is locked and loaded there. You know what? I will just do the old tweet that I usually do here. Give me 1 second here, guys, to get this out to the masses, to the hungry, hungry hippos of the F1 fantasy community. The lineup is locked for the... Where are we at? Barcelona Grand Prix? Barcelona Grand Prix. This game is making my head hurt chasing budget upside. See y'all on the other side. Good luck, everyone. Is that right? Chasing budget upside and not worried about McLaren. ... yet. I wish I could type. I wish I could type. I wish I could type. Publish now. All right, so that's the T1 squad. Come on. Yep, get published. The T2 squad, Ocon and Bortoleto out for Hulkenberg and Gasly. What does the T2 squad need to do here? Let's see. What do we got going? So what you want? I don't want McLaren. I'm just going to keep Ferrari. I don't want Russell either. I'm just really not. I don't want Russell either. Go away. And then they've got Hadjar over Gasly by a little bit here. But I'm not too worried about that either. Where's the best Gasly team? Gasly and Hulkenberg for Lawson and Bortoleto. Is that just 2 free transfers and I just roll another one? 200.7 plus 2.58. Yeah, this is an easy move. This is what I'm doing. Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Gasly, Lawson. It's kind of making my brain hurt. And then I have enough money to go from Antonelli to anyone, should I choose, but I don't really choose to do that. And I'm 0.1 short of Franco Colapinto, but I have plenty of money to get to Arvid Lindblad, whatever happens next weekend, in 2 weekends' time in Austria. So that's the T2 squad taken care of. Hold on. What is going on here? Blah, 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 and blah, 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 to Gasly and Hulkenberg. Continue. I'm about to make 2 changes. Do you see that? The game said I was going to make 3 changes. That was very strange. With 3.7 in the bank. That's easy peasy. And then on the T3 squad, kind of just vibing with this squad right now. So I think I'm going to go with that aggressive kind of budget building outcome here. Go with a little wild card action. Then I don't have to worry about McLaren versus Ferrari because LOL. Get some Mercedes love in here. Racing Bulls, I'm into them this weekend. I kind of suggested this in my T1 squad last Monday, and I'm still going down this route, which is not too bad. Gasly, Hadjar, Colapinto, and Lawson. Lovely jubbly. Maybe Hadjar's not the greatest shout, but I kind of like this very strong Tier B big lineup. That's 5 transfers. Locking that bad boy in. Let's get it on. All right. Now back to the most important people up here, and that's y'all. Okay, here we go. All right, we have 17 minutes. Okay, starting with Anmol Bobal 5336. Anthony Lawson, Lindblad, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, McLaren. Thoughts? Yes, that's good. Is it worth -10 for Bortoleto, Colapinto, Bottas to Gasly, Lindblad, Hulkenberg? Yes. Should I play wildcard to change from Antonelli, Colapinto to Antonelli, Mercedes, Antonelli? If it's worth a -30, Big Borger, play it. Lindblad or Bortoleto, Bortoleto. Did a wildcard to get out of McLaren, Bottas, Perez, Ocon team. That's fine. So Kimi, Ocon, Lawson, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari, T3 team. Would you change anything? I would. I don't love Ocon this week, so I'd like to get him out, but it depends on where you can go. If you can go up, I don't mind it, but otherwise that's okay. So, and then Gasly, Colapinto, Bortoleto. That's a nice squad as well, Big Mikel. Drop Behrman for -10 and replace with Colapinto Lawson, Lindblad, Bordelette, or Hulkenberg, or don't take the -10. Replace them with Lawson. Is it worth using wildcard to get McLaren and Lindblad over Colapinto and Ferrari? Change Stroll and Bottas to Lawson and Hulkenberg. So I have no free transfers left. It's just a -20. But no, I like Colapinto and Ferrari better. Ocon, Lawson, Colapinto, Gasly, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, or Gasly, Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulk. I prefer Gasly, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulk, to be honest there, Ernest. Good morning, my man. Ewan, you're welcome. Oh, welcome in the chat, Domenico. Glad to hear you here. Now I have 2 free transfers and 4.4 in the bank. Antonelli, Colapinto, Borletto, Ocon, Bottas, Mercedes, Ferrari. Should I remove Bottas to Lawson and save a free transfer, 3 free transfers for Australia, or Bottas, Ocon to Hulkenberg and Lawson, or Hulkenberg or Lindblad? Should I move Bottas to Lawson and save a free transfer, or Bottas, Ocon to Hulkenberg and Lawson, Gasly, and Hulkenberg? I would go Bottas, Ocon to Hulkenberg and Gasly. I think that's what I like, Domenico. Hulkenberg plus Lindblad or double Audi? Double Audi, because Bortoletto has a chance at a rise. Love your channel, by the way. Thank you, Kiki. I very much appreciate it. Loving the Scotland top. Yep. No Scotland, no party. Let's get it on. I really, 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 really hope. Let's go check out some other F1 Fantasy content creators, see if they've locked in their lineups yet. Adam, he has locked it in. Lock it in. McLaren have done enough to convince me to bring them in, but did they correct the reliability? I'm banking on no 0. Oh, we didn't go with Gasly. Very interesting. 1 free transfer in the bank to undo any wrong decision. What did you pick for Barcelona? Wowzia. I like the McLaren upside, but I don't think it's enough for me to kind of flip and flop for an extra $4.5 million. It just broke up the foundation of my team a little bit too much, but shout out to Adam. He's also having a fantastic season. Coffee Corner Motorsport says, all locked in, Ferrari, 2 McLaren and Lindblad in it to pay for it. 2 Audis make me nervous, but let's roll and see. All right, that's very interesting from Terry as well. Let's see. Leapsfrog, 2024 champ, says, F1 fantasy teams for Spain going for budget this weekend so my teams can be set up long-term. Hopefully nobody DNFs this week. Antonelli, Gasly, Lawson, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes. All very similar squads. And I think that is it so far. Is that right? Okay. I still don't see anybody else. I'm assuming that my... oh, there we go. Okay, so the tweet did send. We're good. Back to it. Colapinto, Gasly, or save a transfer? Gasly for me. Hi, Ewan. I am late today. I'm with Antonelli, Bortoletto, Albon, Colapinto, Lawson, Ferrari, Mercedes, and I have 3 transfers of 1.5 million left. I am not sure what to do. Any thoughts? Albon out for... Can you do Bortoletto down to Hulkenberg and Albon up to Gasly? Is that going to make it work? Hi, Ewan. -20 or wild card? That is right on the fan sub duel. I would do -20 one time in a season. That's about it. So if you think you can get away with not doing another -20, then I would save the wild card. Fun and Games SOS, you're convincing me on Gasly move. But it would be a -10 to afford him with Ferrari switch. McLaren, Lawson, Lindblad, until they call up into Hulkenberg, or Ferrari, Gasly, Lindblad until they call up into Hulkenberg. That is close. The McLaren, Lawson, Lindblad. I like the Lawson upside. Lawson is pretty much guaranteed to 0.6. Gasly might be nothing to 1.4, so it is a little bit of a risk. But you can go wherever you need to. That's a coin flip for me, Fun and Games. Sorry. I wish I could help you out more there, but McLaren might have the edge. I believe in Ferrari. I don't love the Lindblad shout, though. I like him for Austria, but maybe not for Barcelona. I like him, but I don't love him. I have Antonelli, Bottas, Perez, Bortoletto, Albon, Mercedes, McLaren. Oh, what do? I would get Bottas, Perez, and Albon all out of there. Demagusak. Sorry. Yeah, I sent the too long to save you some time because most questions are the same. I could also become a moderator for your stream. Don't mind me asking. Ooh, I will have to remember that, Mr. Best. I don't know if you follow me on any of the social media. Can you hit me up with a DM, because I will definitely take you up on that. That would be amazing. Thank you. Bonnie Scotland, Ewan, are you staying up for the game 3 a.m. in Germany? Are you still there? I am still living there, but I'm currently on day 1 of my holiday in Kosovo, Steve. So yeah, me and my wife are gonna go explore Pristina after this. And I'm gonna try and get a little cat nap in before the game because, yeah, 3 a.m., that's brutal. We're gonna see. I'm almost trying to wonder if I can go to the hotel gym and just watch the game by myself because I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna be able to keep it down in the hotel room. Ospina says, what do you think of Mercedes, McLaren, Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Behrman, from McLaren, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Behrman on 111.4 budget? I'm just locked in on this potential rise, Matthew. So that's where we're at. I'm just going for it. What do you think of from? I like that team. Yeah, you're good, Ospina. What do you think from? Yeah, Mercedes, McLaren, Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg. I don't like Behrman. I'd probably get Behrman out of there. Did you lock your teams already? Can you show them? Yep, these are all my teams are locked here on the screen, guys. Gasly gonna crash, isn't he? Yes, it'll be F1 Fantasy lore. Mark is in the chat. F1 Fantasy pole sitter. Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Gasly, Hulkenberg versus Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Gasly, Hulkenberg. The Gasly side, Mark. Gasly. Skywolf says, Antonelli, Albon, Colapinto, Perez, Bottas, Mercedes, Ferrari. What are the best moves? Should I take a -10? Albon, Perez, and Bottas out. Worth a -10 to get rid of Albon, a team with Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Colapinto, Ferrari, V-Carb, low budget, and no transfers. Yes, get rid of Albon. Ocon or Colapinto? Colapinto. Is it swapping Colapinto, Bottas, Ocon to Gasly, Lindblad, Bortoleto? A good idea. Colapinto, Bottas, Ocon. Yes. So the debate, Hadjar, Gasly, is solved. Gasly, right? Yes, it is correct, Marty. I mean, just because we're chasing the upside. Honestly, I'm not sure the devs know what they're going to do exactly. I don't think they do either. Don't forget your team, says Reziel. I'm all locked in. Thank you, Reziel, though. Appreciate that. Marin, what is up? Does McLaren outscore Ferrari by more than 10 points? Hadjar or Gasly, current team? Probably getting Hulkenberg and Hadjar or Gasly. I like Gasly and Hulkenberg. I don't know if McLaren outscores Ferrari by 10 points and the reliability risk of McLaren in general. 2 Audi plus Lawson or 2 V-Car plus Bortoleto? I kind of prefer Audi for budget, just a little bit of safety there. Is it worth a -20 to get Bottas out if I can get Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg, and Bortoleto? Might be too greedy and we'll wait to get Bottas out next race. I think it's probably going to be worth it, Kyle. Not going to lie. So if I try and drop Ocon, I can get to Gasly, Bortoleto, save 1.1, but I lose Lawson, Ian, -10. Would you still do it? Yes. Bottas, Colapinto, Stroll to Hulkenberg, Gasly, Lawson for -10. Ding, ding, ding. Party with Cardi. That is the correct answer. Hi, Ewan. I have Antonelli, Albon, Colapinto, Perez, Bottas, Ferrari. They take a -10 to get Albon, Perez. Leave. What should I get? Definitely take the -10. Probably go a little. Gasly, Bortoleto, Lindblad kind of thing there. Yeah, that might be it. Gasly, Antonelli, Lawson, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, a good team to lock in. I'm pretty sure I have that team locked in almost there. Yeah, do I have that? That's the exact team I have locked in for my T2 squad. So yes, I like it. Ferrari, Mercedes, -10 to get rid of Bottas. Yes, -10 to get rid of Bottas. I prefer Ferrari to Mercedes, or McLaren, just because of the bang for your buck budget. We are 7 minutes to go, guys. While you are waiting for me to answer your questions, smash that like button. I'm almost caught up to y'all. Oh God, no, I'm not. What a terrible mistake I just said. It's Vibe says, I have T1, Leclerc, Bottas, Bortoleto, Lawson, Colapinto, but I don't know what to do. I like 2 times, or should I play wildcard or from... I would go Leclerc to Kimi, Bortoleto to Lindblad, and Bottas to Nico. I would just keep Bortoleto, but go Kimi and Bottas, or Leclerc and Bottas to Kimi and Nico. I think that's fine. Keep Colapinto or swap Gasly and take a -10 for the budget. I'm going for it. I'm doing it. I did it on my T1 squad, I think, or one of my squads. I think I did it on my T2 squad. I took Colapinto out. McLaren, Gasly, Lindblad versus Ferrari, Gasly, Hadjar. You might convince me of that McLaren Gasly side there. Yeah, maybe. Gasly, Lindblad to replace Lawson, Colapinto. Is it worth a -10? Oh, that is like the closest one that you've asked so far. I think a couple of people have asked that question. Uh, Gasly, Lindblad to replace Lawson, Colapinto. It's really close. I think this week you might be set with the budget of Lawson, Colapinto, but you could miss out on a little bit of money with that Gasly. It's up to you. It's up to your risk tolerance. Rebecca, I saw you dropped a message. Drop it again. I will answer it immediately. I bet at some point this year we're going to have an Ant Rush crash. The DNF point's going to be mad. They are, but like I said, with the elite data, Antonelli's in 98% of teams. Mercedes in 98%, or Antonelli's in 93% of teams. Even if he drops a little bit, most of the global top 500 will still have him. I don't think anyone's moving off of Mercedes that much, 98.2%. Lawson and Ferrari or McLaren and Lindblad. Lawson and Ferrari for me. Double out, I think I answered that. I use wildcard, so I use Bortoleto or Lindblad. Bortoleto for me, I currently have Antonelli, Bottas, Perez, Bortoleto, Albon. What do I do? Get Bottas, Perez out of there. T1 locked in, same team as you, but with Bortoleto. Okay, nice. Good luck, Mr. Best. I think I'm wildcard into Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Gasly, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, but no Lawson. That's okay. I know you answered already, probably, but Bortoleto or Lindblad, who would you prefer? Thanks for everything, and go Croatia on World Cup. Yes, please be England. That'd be amazing. Thank you, Mario. Sorry to all the English viewers, but, you know, Scottish at heart. And blood. Bortoleto or Lindblad? Bortoleto this week, Lindblad long term. Is it worth it to go from -20 to -20 to go Colapinto? I have from Nope. I prefer Colapinto to both those drivers, to be honest. CT24672. Worth taking negative tensions. Bottas, Bortoleto. Oh, that's really tough. Bortoleto could get the rise. Bottas is not going to get the rise. So I guess if you need budget, it might be worth it. Mixed sauce to get Golden Boot and Player of the World Cup. Of course, Evo. Of course. Why Ferrari, not McLaren? I just don't believe that McLaren is as good of a bang for your buck. And I'm not entirely sure about McLaren's long run pace as a eyelash enters my eye. T1 wildcard, Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg. T2 used 3 transfers, Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Gasly, Lawson, Colapinto to avoid -10. T3 wildcard, Mercedes, Ferrari. Love it, Mark. Love all those teams. Get Perez or Bottas out. Bottas. We're in the same boat, you, and we basically have the same team again. Look at that. Look at us. Who would have thought? Look at us. I really like that you answer every message. I'm trying here, Arav. Hadjar or Gasly for points? Hadjar for points. Guys, enough with the questions. Let him breathe. Worth -10 to move Bottas to Hulkenberg or save a transfer for next week? Go to Hulkenberg. Gasly or Hadjar? Gasly for points. Lawson or Gasly? That's really a toss-up. I don't even know what the sims say. My gut says Gasly because he's just been getting it done every race, except the one time where he got punted out of the race by Liam Lawson. So Ocon, Colapinto, or Gasly, Bortoleto, and a -20. Not a -20. Do I need to sacrifice everything to bin Bottas? Not everything, but I don't like Bottas this week. Oh my goodness. I have missed so many questions. I'm so sorry. Is it worth a -20 to get Bottas out if I can get Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg, and Bortoleto? Might be too greedy and we'll wait to get Bottas out next week. No, I think I said I'd like to get Bottas out this week, Kyle. Hopefully you saw that earlier. Would you get Gasly in for Colapinto for -10? That's the final choice I have to make. Good luck to everyone from Australia. For the budget upside, I probably would. Should I take a -10 to get Gasly or Hadjar from Colapinto? Probably Gasly. Does McLaren outscore Ferrari by more than 10 points? I don't think so. My T1s are the same as your T2, and we have the same T3, so we both will be part of the same boat. There we go, Mr. Best. We'll all be part of the support group. 2 minutes to go. Do you still think Gasly over Hadjar only considering points and not budget? No, but long term, we do have to think about budget when we play this game. Currently, my team is Antonelli, Bottas. Do you think it's a good idea to take -10 to go to Russell? I don't think going to the Russell McLaren build is necessary. Is it worth a -20 to move Leclerc to Antonelli? I guess not, but I don't understand why it would cost you a -20 to get like a couple of $1 million in budget. Worth a -20 Lawson over Colapinto? Yeah, probably. Bortoleto or Hulkenberg. What do you think about the fan amp teams? I'm really interested in Adam's build. Thanks for the help, you, and much appreciated. You're very welcome. What do you think about McLaren, Mercedes, Antonelli, Colapinto, Lindblad? Should I take a -10 to go somewhere else? I'm sticking with McLaren. Stick with McLaren then. Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg. Nope, I think that's pretty much as good as you can get. Maybe you could get Lawson in instead of Colapinto, but I don't think it's necessary. Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Lawson, Bortoleto, Ferrari, Mercedes to Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Lindblad, Mercedes. Yes. Thank you so much for trying your best to help everyone. It doesn't go unnoticed. Hadjar or Ocon? Hadjar. Hydrate. Trying. What is this with enough with the questions thing. 50 question penalty for me. You missed my question. The stream. Have fun on your holidays. Hope float the scores. I do too. What the heck is going on? Trying to get science smash to work. I won't say everything I leave shows a negative 20. You have to hit the applied chips, Domenico. Same as your F3 team, but due to budget, have Ferrari, V-Carb, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Colpin, Gasly. Any better swaps? Lindblad, Hulkenberg. Nope. All looks good to me. Hey, champ, negative 10 with Gasly, Lindblad, or Albon and Lawson. Negative 10 for Gasly. Oh, no, I think the deadline is gone. My team for the weekend. That's just... Good luck, everyone. Enjoy the race. Oh, I nearly got there. 3 questions. I think I answered all of them eventually. Gasly, Hadjar, Balta, or Gasly, Lawson. Gasly, Lawson, Bordelot, or Hulkenberg would have been my answer for that, Big Mikkel. My team for the weekend looks good. What do you think about McLaren, Mercedes, Antonelli? Should I take a negative 10 to go somebody else? That was good. And oh my days. I think we got there. Best second tier A constructor, 350 votes. Ferrari, 60%. McLaren, 40%. Thanks, Ewan. You are very welcome, Mr. Best. Hit me up for that mod application. I think I need it. That would be great. I need someone to whittle out all of the... was my face just like this? I was like freaking out the last 20 minutes of that stream trying to get to you. To get to all the questions. And here we are. We are in it. Whoa, we blew past 580, 5850 subscribers. Holy moly, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm sure you'll see me around at some point over the rest of the weekend, because yeah, there's a race and there's a football game going on. So I will be here. I will be on the old Twitterozzi. Thank you for your time and effort. Where should I reach out? You can hit me up on X. You can hit me up on Blue Sky. You can hit me up on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're at. I think I'm at F1 Fantasy UN everywhere except on YouTube, where I'm F1 Fantasy Pole Position. So yeah, that is good to go. And I am out of here, folks. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I will be back at some point talking about Austria, and then I'm going to Austria, but there will still be a deadline stream, so don't worry about that either. But have a great weekend. Oh, and yeah, lots of chaos. And I am just going to, I need to find the closest pub to watch the games and have a good time in Kosovo. So if you have any recs in Kosovo, North Macedonia, or Belgrade, hit me up in the chats, and that will do it. So once again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Good luck in Barcelona. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stop talking at this speed for the rest of the weekend, and I will talk to you next time.